What is up, my dudes? It's Morgan, and welcome back to my channel. I have decided that I'm gonna start doing like an every other week thing. So every other week I'm gonna do kind of like a conspiracy video, and in the bye weeks I'm gonna do different stuff. I mentioned in my Outer Banks video that I really liked doing the turn myself into a character while I talk about the TV show, so I definitely can see myself doing that on the bye weeks. But for today's bi-weekly non-conspiracy video, does bi-weekly mean every week or like twice a week or every other week? I think bi-weekly means every other week. If it doesn't, then that's what I mean. That is what I mean. I don't know. My brain, this is making me second guess my vocabulary. But anyway, for today's every other week non-conspiracy video, I decided that I wanted to share my experience doing the college search more virtually with you guys, because this is really unprecedented. I began kind of like looking into schools this last September, partially because I kind of was supposed to start thinking about it, and my parents wanted to be kind of ahead of the game, I guess. Like, they didn't want us to be going into the summer, this summer, blind and not knowing where I wanted to apply, and they didn't want to feel like we were scrambling. So I was able to go to a few schools in person. I went to Villanova, which was absolutely gorgeous, and I went to American University in DC, and I also went to George Washington University. I really liked American. That's definitely on one of my top lists. But then my fall was really busy, and then winter happened, and as spring break was rolling around, my school usually has off the whole week, so we were thinking of doing some different college tours there. So I was supposed to go up to see Fordham University and go to Lafayette, and then there was a University of Wisconsin information session, and then we were going to go out to Ohio if we could, depending on if we could get the, we were supposed to go to Ohio, but I think that their tours were all booked, so we were going to do Rutgers instead. And basically I had a whole week of college tours planned, which is kind of how my fall break started too. But then obviously this happened, and while this isn't ideal, we did kind of have to adjust. So I have been doing my college tours at home from my laptop. I'm a little bit worried that I wouldn't have actually stepped foot on the campus. So I do hope that things open back up soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to share how I've been virtually looking at schools and what I've liked about the different schools. So I'm just going to go down a list and talk about some of the different schools that I've toured virtually and what I liked about their setup and why. And yeah. Let's get started. So this list is kind of haphazard. This list is a little bit all over the place because I kind of did it as I remembered school tours. I kind of was trying to think back. So we'll start with Penn State. Penn State was probably one of the tours I did earlier in quarantine. I liked their tour. They had a U-Visit tour. So U-Visit is kind of like this basically giant virtual program where it's they have a virtual tour set up, and you can walk around and you see everything, and they have audio playing, and depending on the location they'll have little videos, and they'll have little pictures, and sometimes 360 pictures, so you can really kind of get a good feel for the campus and the different buildings and the inside of the buildings, and the videos kind of give you a look into student life. I really liked the Penn State one, partially because there were little tour guides in the corner. As the tour progressed, there were 3 different tour guides that were on the tour giving you the tour, and I thought that was so cool, to the point where when I went to do the next virtual tour, and I don't remember what the next one was that I did, but I do remember that when I went to do the next virtual tour, I was so confused why there weren't little tour guides in the corner for me. So that was something extra that Penn State had that made me be like, I love this. The next school that is on the list that I made was the University of Maryland. Like Penn State, the University of Maryland had a U-Visit, So I obviously did the U visit. I actually did this one with my mom. My mom came with me on a bunch of different college tours this past few months, and it was kind of funny because like we'll be talking in the kitchen like, oh, where do you want to go today? And we'll be like, and I'll be like, oh, you go to Ohio, or like you want to go to California with me. And then we just say it so we just would say it so casually that my little brother was actually like, wait, you're going to Ohio? And we had to be like, no, we're not, but it's okay. So the University of Maryland also has a U tour. Oh, a U visit. The University of Maryland also has a U visit. But the thing that I really liked about the University of Maryland tour was their little videos that they had with certain locations. So the videos would start off with a person that's like really important to the school talking. So it could be like a dean, for example. And they would start by listing a lot of the big facts, I guess, like the school was founded, like basically like the illustrious history of the school. And as they were talking behind them, so they'd be like in the background, like let's say like right here, I'd be talking to you, and a group of students would start walking by. And the students would kind of gesture and direct the camera's attention away from the speaker to them. And then they would give you on this like short little action-packed tour of the life at U Maryland as a student. And I thought that was really, like, it was funny, and like I thought it was really good. Like, that was really cool for me. Moving on to New York, NYU didn't have a U visit that I found. Maybe there is one now, but I haven't looked again. But from the last time that I was looking at NYU, they had these cool videos that kind of combined like the layout of the like city campus with some of the students' personal experience. I feel like it was kind of like it was a nice video, like the graphic, it was really well done, very clean and put together. One thing that I liked about it was that, so say like your building's here, this like little line would come out of the top and it would like zigzag across the city to the next building, and like there'd be like little points on where the campuses were, so you could kind of get an idea of like what was considered the NYU campus within the city. So I thought that that was really good because I'm like, NYU is one that I'm still considering, so I kind of liked having a better idea of like where it was, if that makes sense. I liked how the little lines zigzagged across the city and like connected the campus. That made me happy. Now we're gonna get a little bit cold because we're going up to the University of Wisconsin. The Wisconsin tour was a little bit harder for me to find, but it was around their admissions page if you're interested in looking for it. It kind of shows like almost like an aerial view of the campus, and there's little pinpoints in the campus as it's around, like built into Ann Arbor, it seems like. So I kind of liked how there was a bit of an aerial view to it because I felt like I could kind of get a sense of how spread out the campus was. Hey, quick note from future editing Morgan. The University of Wisconsin is in Madison, Wisconsin. Ann Arbor is where the University of Michigan is located. I have the University of Michigan on the list, which we'll see later on in the video, but it just kind of got like mixed up in my brain, so sorry for that confusion. Sometimes when I would do like the virtual reality tours, because I would just, press the arrow and I'd walk around, I felt like I could understand that some of these campuses were big, but I wasn't feeling it as much as I kind of felt with the Wisconsin one. Basically, you would click on the little landmark, and the landmark would bring up a video or some comments, and it would just tell you a little bit about the area, and then you could just go around in the city campus and pick on the different landmarks. So I thought that was interesting. Boston University did something similar to that, where you would they had a kind of a map of the campus spread out in Boston, and you'd press the arrows and go north, south, and like the arrows would show you different buildings, and you could press on the buildings, and there'd be little videos, and there was like a website, and you could go to different links, and the links would lead you places. So that one was good too. University of Michigan was another one that I found that was mostly videos. So I feel like that's kind of pretty self-explanatory there. One of the favorite tours that I can say I have been on, well, I really liked Ohio State. I liked Ohio State. I thought that they really did a good job of showing the campus there and that U visit. that was one where I was like, wow, this is a big place. But I did enjoy seeing the campus on the U visit, and I did a U visit for Georgetown as well. And I thought that one thing that was cool about that one is that there were a lot of student-made vlogs in the Georgetown U visit, so you could really get an idea of like the students, I guess. Like, I know you really can't get an idea of someone from like a 30-second video clip, but I feel like it was a little bit more interactive with the students. Or like, I guess it was a little bit more interactive with like day-to-day students. So that's kind of cool. One of the favorite tours that I think I have done was probably the UCLA Tour. And look, I'm wearing my UCLA football shirt. Partly because this is one of the only 2 college things I own. For some reason, I don't really own a lot of like college spirit wear. I have like my UCLA rugby shirt, and then I have a Army West Point sweatshirt that I got from a football game there that's in the wash somewhere. But UCLA actually is one of my favorite tours that I've done. So my first thought when I started the UCLA visit was, this literally looks like my Pinterest board for what I want my future house to look like, but in a college campus. Like just the structure of like all the plants around it. Like, I don't want to, like, you can't really choose a school based on the plants, but like the atmosphere with it, I was like, this is literally my Pinterest board. Like, this is kind of cool. I really liked that. So I thought that the tour itself, like the U visit, was well done. But one thing that I really liked was that they had a whole separate virtual tour just for the housing alone. And I thought that was really cool because there were so many different housing options, and it really highlighted them all. Like, it highlighted all the residential stuff. And I think that that's important to me because one thing that I feel like, because obviously, like, I feel like the housing is really important to me because that's where you're going to live. Like, you're going to be living in that place for at least your freshman year, maybe longer. So you want to make sure that it's a nice, or you want to kind of like know what you're getting into. Like, obviously some places are a little bit nicer than others, and I feel like it was nice to see the entire residential stuff because I can confidently like say like, this is what I kind of expect if I went here, and like what I would expect from my dorm room, if that makes sense. I will, like, the dorms were highlighted on a lot of the other tours, and they did give you kind of like a picture into what some of the room layouts were on other tours, but I didn't see any other tour that had like a full tour for the housing. So that was something that stuck out to me that was pretty cool. And then the last tour, well, I did Fordham University too, but that one was just kind of a basic U-visit. The last tour that I have done was the University of San Diego, was UC San Diego. UC San Diego was probably, this was like the straight up first virtual tour I think I did back in December. And I remember I started it and I was like, this is so cool. So that kind of stands out to me because it was when I first started like realizing like, oh, I could do like the virtual reality stuff, because like California is kind of far away from me, and so like virtual stuff is really key for like doing stuff with the schools. Some of the other stuff that I've been doing to kind of like help with the virtual process is I did some college seminars a few weeks ago. Like, I would listen to different information sessions, so stuff like that the colleges, like, I learned some really useful stuff about like admissions and stuff, and how like different, like some colleges when they have like the college board, like not through college board, through Common App. Some of them, like when they take the Common App, you need to have like this supplemental stuff. Other ones are on their whole separate different structure system. Like, all the California schools are on their own separate application. They don't accept Common App. So I learned a lot from watching those different seminars. And another source that I think, like, personally, like, I didn't think of this before all of this happened. So I didn't think of this before quarantine, so maybe other people realized it before I did, but YouTube videos are such a great help when you're doing your college search, because you're literally getting the information straight from a college student. I remember I watched a University of Wisconsin video from a student that went there, and she talked about the different dorm rooms and her experience at the school. And that was really cool for me because I feel like I kind of got to like hear things from someone who's actually there. So the combination of everything I feel like really has put me in a better spot. So if you are someone who is trying to figure out like what you're going to do now because you can't get on campus anywhere and you haven't tried doing like the virtual U tours, I definitely try checking U visits. Oh my god, why do I keep calling them U tours? If you haven't tried to use it, I definitely check and see if your college that you're looking at has one because those are really cool. And I wish you the best of luck. Like, we're all in this together. Oh my god, that is a High School Musical song. We're all kind of in this together, and I hope it works out for all of us. This has been my experience with and what I think has been cool about doing college searches virtually. I'd love to hear what your experiences are in the comments down below, and if you like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm here every Tuesday.